I don't know. I didn't see any questions, but let me look. Got a couple of questions. So let's look at these two questions and then we'll look at the test. This is 6.3, 39/12. 6.3, 39/12. Set up an equation that can be used to solve the problem, solve the equation. Jim is building a rectangular deck and wants the length. Okay, so let's write that down. Length, rectangular, and my whiteboard is gone. Oh. Give me a second. There we go. So we know that area of a rectangle is equal to length times what? And we know that perimeter of a a rectangle equals 2L plus 2W. I'm sorry, W. Now the reason I'm putting those two up there is because I don't think we're going to have to use volume because y'all don't know how to do volume yet. By this book, you don't know how to do volume. So I'm writing those two up there. I have no idea what they're asking. But it says Jim is building a rectangular deck. The reason rectangular is important is you know that all four sides are not equal. And it says length to be 2 foot greater than the what? I want y'all to interact with me. Thank you.
Width.
So my length is equal to W plus 2. And the W is right here. And length is equal to W plus 2. Okay, so that takes care of all of this. What will be the dimension if the what? Perimeter. Dang old perimeter's right here. So we're going to say 72 is equal to 2L plus 2W. So I'm going to plug in this W plus 2 for what? Yep. I'm going to plug that in for the L. So I'm going to take my handy dandy parentheses and I'm going to make them yellow just to piss y'all off so you can't see it. Right? You're supposed to yell that you can't see it. Well, I can't even write, so I might as well just forget it. 2, and then yellow parentheses, and then plus 2W. You're not supposed to say W because if you W, you're ignorant, so you have to say W. You have to say W just like you have to say Belton. Belton. How'd you say Belton a while ago?
Belton.
It's daggum Belton.
There's no T.
It's daggum Belton.
What?
Daggum Belton.
Mount Ann and a Mount Ann.
Belton.
Y'all ever heard somebody say that? Yes, there is a Fount Ann on top of the Mount Ann. What the hell is a Fount Ann and a Mount Ann? Y'all ever heard somebody say that?
Oh my God.
I got a good friend of mine, his daughter. She graduated high school and she would say Fount Ann and Mount Ann. And I said, you going to see the Fount Ann on Mount Ann? I never heard of such. Anyway, W. So I'm going to erase this right here, but I'm going to go ahead and put in that W plus 2 right there for that L. And now I'm just going to do the math. So I'm going to erase this. And I got 72 is equal to 2 things I do for y'all. W plus 2 plus 2W. That's going to be 72 equals 2W plus 4 plus 2W. And that's going to be 72 is equal to 4W plus 4 minus 4. What is that, 68? 68 equals 4W. Divide by 4, and that's going to give me 17. So W is equal to 17. Therefore, L is equal to what? 19. And that is your answer. Is this a test question? Oh, yeah. The equation DGB. I don't know where that DGB comes.
See, it's just me. I just kind of used my logic to find 17 and 19.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't know
where did DGB come from? Was that
I needed something in there so that I could skip it.
That's funny. So 72 is equal to 2L plus 2W. Bell time. Now they probably want the 2 times and put the brackets in there. W plus 2. That's probably what they want. Okay, they can go jump in the lake. I don't know what they want. I don't care what they want.
You put it on the wrong end.
Oh, they want X. Okay. Give them a donut. They want X instead of W. So that's not a big deal. If you put X on a test, come see me after class and I'll give you, please don't do that. You see that they want X. So when you do this on a test, please put in X so I don't have to do 30 corrections. Okay? All right, next. That's a good test question though. Next is 6.339/12, I believe. Yep. The same question.
Wait, is that?
It's the same one, DGB. That's going to be your nickname, DJB, bud. You DJB. All right, delete. Okay, so let's get to the test. Means y'all done all y'all's homework. Y'all are good. I know y'all haven't done your homework. You know why? Because y'all suck. That's why. Assignment. Let's go to test. Now this y'all can't do this, but there it is, right there. Look there. Unit 2, Test A, 6.1 through what?
6.5.
Okay, so, and it's due on the what? 4th. Isn't it amazing what MyLabs Plus tells you, and you don't have to ask the teacher? Isn't that amazing? All right, here we go. Let's do this question. Inequality. I think I was supposed to go over inequalities today, but I'll go ahead and do it now. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, go ahead and write that question down. You don't have to write down the options, just write down the equation. When we do inequalities, you have to write down the following information. This is your key. These two guys. Okay? These two guys get an open circle, parentheses, or a straight solid line. These two guys get a closed circle, brackets, or, I'm sorry, this is a dashed line. I ain't done. Sorry, I suck. And this gets a solid line. Go ahead and put little arrowheads on it so you know that that's a line like if you were graphing it. This is exclusive. And this is what? What's the opposite of exclusive? You so smart. Dang old gifted cow. Now, that is very, very, very important. You can't do inequalities without that little key right there. Now, the reason I want you to write it down is because I'm going to graph something or I'm going to write something, and the first thing you're going to say is, how'd you know to write that? And I'm going to point right back to this. So, that's it. The rest of it you solve just like you've been solving. So let's go look at the problem. And when you do an inequality, you solve, you graph on a number line, and then you write in set builder notation and interval notation. Okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to do that with every single problem that we do with inequality. And why aren't we spending a lot of time on this? Because 90% of it you know how to do because you know how to solve equations. So let's go ahead and solve this equation. 2 times 4x minus 4 and less than 4 times 2x minus what? 3. And you distribute just like you've been doing. And that's going to give us 8x minus 8 is less than 8x minus what? Oh, 24. 4 times 3 is 24, Hubert. You suck. Thank you for telling me the right answer, whoever that was. I don't know where 24 came from. All right, I think 8 times 3 is where it came from in my brain. All right, so the 8x is canceled. Now we've got negative 8 is less than negative 12. Now before you blurt out the answer, what would you rather have in the bank account? Negative $800 or negative $1,200? So negative 8 is greater than what? Negative 12. So this is an untrue statement. Let me give you another key for inequalities. If you have a true statement, then you have what's called an identity. And an identity means all real numbers. I done made that one. I done made her mad. She's leaving.
Oh, yeah, I'm so mad.
Oh, you offended?
So mad. I'm triggered.
You triggered. That's good. All right. What if you have an untrue statement? If you have an untrue statement, that's called a contradiction. And if you have a contradiction, I don't know how to spell contradiction, but I'm going to do my best. You have no solution. An untrue statement would be this one. Okay? Now, 10% of the time you will have one like this. 90% of the time you're going to get x is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to a number. And that's called a solution. Okay, 90% of the time you're going to get that first one. But 10% of the time you might get a true statement like 5 is equal to 5, or you might get a untrue statement like negative x, negative 8 is less than negative 12. That is untrue. So which one of these number lines say no solution?
A.
A, good, is an alpha. Good job. So your answer here would be alpha. Okay, we'll get to another one here in a minute. But make sure you understand. Now we'll get to graphing on a number line. We'll get to that when we get to another one that's one of these. Graph on a number line, this one. That's the one you graph on a number line right there. This one right here is all real numbers. This one right here is no solution. It looks like a zero. In mathematics, a zero with a line through it's called no solution. Okay? All right, next question. Well, next question. All right, let's try this one. Now, let me highlight something here. I want you to write the directions down on this one. Since we're killing two birds with one stone today. And that is this. What does the word integer mean?
Whole number?
Good job. You're a winner. Whole number. Now, if I graph a whole number, can I graph the fractions, decimals in between the whole numbers? No. I can only graph the whole numbers. So when you're talking about integers, you can only graph with what? Dots. You can't graph with a shade. So those two are out. Now you need to make that note, and you have to make sure you read the directions, because you can't pick B or D, because that's whole numbers. So B and D is not the answer. So at least you got it down to 50%. So let's go ahead and solve this one. So 9 times x plus 3 minus 23 is less than 6x plus 7. 9x plus 27 minus 23 is less than or equal to 6x plus 7. 9x, what's 27 minus 23? 4, Hubert. Thank you, class. Which one's the little bucket, 6x or 9x? 6x. I'm going to take it across the river, and that makes it 3x plus 4 is less than or equal to 7. 3x less than or equal to, what's 7 minus 4? And what numbers are less than 1? To the left or to the right? To the left. You put a closed circle on here, and here, here. Why am I using a closed circle? And make sure you notice this little, see the 3 little dots on the left side? Y'all see those 3 little dots right here? That means I'm going to infinity, but it's just the whole numbers, not fractions and decimals. It's just the whole numbers. That's why you put dots on them. Our answer is Charlie. And you feel good about yourself. All right, you do that one. X minus 8 is less than negative 2. X minus 8 is less than negative 2. How do you get rid of negative 8? Thank you. I was wanting interaction. Thank you very much. Settle down, Pendleton. X is less than what? 6. So I'm going to put an open circle on 6. So it can't be that one. and an open circle on 6, there's no other open circle. So what does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, I made the classic mistake. I made the mistake I just told you not to. Hold on. I suck. What does it say right here? Integer. So it can't be the shaded. So which one is less than 6? C
Charlie?
or D?
D?
D, because D is exclusive at 6. It's got a what? An open circle. But you can't put an open circle on it because it would, you can't put a closed circle on it because it is what? It is a whole number and you can't use it. That's why you don't have an equal sign right up under here. So this is your correct answer, D. Remember, you can't plug 6 back into this equation. You have to plug in what? 5. That means it's exclusive. 6 is not invited to the party. 6 is not invited to the party because 6 doesn't give you a true statement. What's the only numbers that give you true statements? Exactly. I plug in 6, I get an untrue statement. 6 minus 8 is -2. And what's -2 plus 8? What?
6?
That's not right. It's supposed to be, have I got it written down right? Oh, -2. I'm sorry. I had that 8 right there. Plug it in the original over there. So -2 is less than -2. Is that true or false? It's false. -2 is equal to -2. But you don't have an equal sign there, so that's an untrue statement. So therefore, you can't use 6. You have to use other numbers less than 6. That's why you don't have an equal sign here. So this is exclusive. So you can't use 6. All right? So we answered that one. Next. Evaluate the expression. Evaluate means plug and what? Plug and chug. So here we go. Plug and chug. Parentheses squared. Parentheses squared minus 4 times parentheses plus 5. And what goes in the parentheses? 7. 49 minus 28 plus 5. What is that? Dang old 21 plus 5 is 26. I'll check my math. Y'all settle down. $26. Next. Okay, that's no way, no how. I do not replace your lowest grade with your final. 0 has been placed in for a missing grade. Okay, let's try that one. Some of these are repetitive. I meant it to be that way. So A minus 12 is less than -22. How do you get rid of a -12? You add 12. A is less than what? -10. Does this say integers or whole numbers? If it doesn't say integers, that means it's whole numbers. So we're going to shade. So all of these are shaded because they don't have dots. So what numbers, be careful here, what numbers are less than negative 10? Left or right? Left of negative 10 or right of negative 10? Left. So I can take this one out because it goes to the right. I can take this one out because it has a solid circle there. I can take this one out because it's to the right and it has a solid circle. So what's the only logical answer? Charlie.
C.
Next. Use the formula. Okay, we are solving for B, but first thing I'm going to do is what? Get rid of the what? Fraction. Thank you. So I'm going to multiply both sides by what?
The reciprocal?
Or the denominator, whichever one you want to say. 3v is equal to BH, and now I look to see what I'm solving for. I'm solving for capital B, so I divide by H. So 3v, so which one is that? Looks like Charlie again. And no, they are not all C, so don't even think that. Think I'm that stupid. I'm not going to do that. Determine whether the variation between the indicated quantities is direct or inverse. The radius of a circle and its area. So let's draw this. Radius of a circle and its area, that'll be in blue. Okay, let's draw another circle. And draw its area. Draw another circle. And draw its area. So what can you tell me the relationship between the radius and the area? As the radius increases, the what?
Area increases?
So that is what type of variation?
Direct?
Direct. Inverse would be as the radius increases, what does the, as the radius increases, what does the area do? Decrease, because that's inverse. Inverse means opposite. Okay, direct means the same. So let's do it again. This radius is increasing. See? This looks like what, 2 inches? This looks like 4 inches. This looks like whatever. Okay? The radius is increasing. What's the area doing? It's increasing. They're both going the same direction. They're both going the same direction, it's direct. What does your gas mileage do on your car as it gets bigger? Okay, is that inverse or direct? Are they going in opposite directions? That's inverse. The reason I went over that is because I saw some of y'all kind of look funky, when I went over that. So remember, direct is the same direction. Inverse is the opposite. Feel good about yourself?
Yes, sir.
Good. Ernie Rolfe, sounds like a Muppet, deposits $4,050 at 2% for 1 year. We haven't went over interest yet, and this Is this simple interest or is this, I hate when they do this. Okay, yes, so you use the Walmart equation. I think that's what they want. All right. He puts in 40, 50, and what is interest? Subtracted or added? Anybody want to know why the phone is on the floor? Because when the phone is up here, it covers up the thing for the remote, and it messes up the camera. Sorry. Now I don't know where I was. Oh, what is interest? Is interest on a savings account, IRA, stocks, is it added or is it subtracted? Percentage of the total is equal to the final sum. So somebody crank that through the calculator.
I do know.
Well, somebody, this is the interest. So somebody tell me what this is, since they're asking for both. Tell me what the Muppet's going to earn. $81 even? Yep. Okay, so the Muppet got $81, and that's going to be what? 41.31? What is it?
41.31.
I had to use my calculator, I'm sorry. Next. Oh, another inequality. Golly, why are you doing all these inequalities? I don't know. Maybe because they're important later on. Because I don't like y'all. That's what it is.
Surprise.
Might use them in business or marketing or, you know. But y'all ain't gonna go into business, right?
Yes.
You're not gonna deal with money ever, are you? No. I deal in moonshine. That's what I deal in. And cows. Sometimes hay bales. Sometimes I'll trade for hay bales too. Yeah. You know, buy a hay bale or somebody who needs 50 hay bales. Heck, 50 hay bales. Let's see, what's 50? Well, let's do 10 hay bales. 10 hay bales, $250, $300.
Jesus.
You have a farm or something?
Nah, I won't know. I might. I need to put that on my information, you know? That's what I need to do. Put that on my information so people know I have a farm. I don't know why I don't do stuff like that.
It's fun. I have a farm. Like, that's why
Do
I'm
you?
asking. Like, I'm not trying to be funny.
Where's
Yeah.
yours? Where do you have a farm?
My grandpa, he has McConnell Cedar Glen. Like, it's on Bishop Branch. You don't know. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in Pendleton or not. But,
Yes, I've been in. I
Yeah.
know Bishop Branch. What's your grandfather's name?
Pete McConnell.
Pete McConnell. No, I don't know McConnell. But I know where Bishop Branch Road is. Done a lot of surveying on Bishop. I've done a lot of surveying down there. All right,
Oh.
shut up. Yeah, I've raised. We used to have a dairy farm until I was like 19 years old, and then we changed it into a beef cattle farm. So 9x plus 9, but I don't sell to. I only sell to neighbors. I don't sell to crazy people. So, what defines crazy people? Anybody but my neighbors. I'll be baling hay, and somebody say, "You sell hay?" I said, "No." Why? I don't deal with the public very well. You ever seen that commercial where the guy orders a sandwich? He's sitting in this cafe, and he tells the waitress, "I don't want mustard on my sandwich." And the waitress takes the bread off the top of the sandwich. It's got mustard on it, and scrapes it on the side of the table. That's me. You don't want mayonnaise. That's what a knife is for. Take the knife, and you scrape it off, you put it back on the sandwich. I ain't got no use in it. That's why we got snowflakes today. -9, -9. that gives us 9x is greater than, what's 27 minus 9? 50.
I said 18.
Oh. 18 divided by 9. And x is greater than or equal to 2. Now, I'm going to graph it. I'm going to find me a 2, and I'm going to put me a solid circle on 2. So what does that mean with Bravo and Charlie? Bravo and Charlie cannot be the answer because they have a what?
A circle?
A what circle?
An open circle?
An open circle. Because this makes it what? Inclusive, meaning that he can come to the party. 2 can come to the party because 2 will make this a true statement. Now, what numbers are greater than 2? Right or left?
Right.
So that means alpha is not right. So D is the answer. Now I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you set builder notation and interval notation. Set builder notation is pretty simple. Set builder, you draw a big set of braces. And then you draw an X and a line, and then you put your answer in there. X greater than or equal to 2. That's called set builder notation. They have a homework question or a test question that says put in set builder notation. Interval notation, you read the number line. Interval notation, read the number line. They still got a few minutes.
Hi there. It's currently 1:10.
Okay. Interval notation. What's this? You read left to right. When do we hit this function? We hit it at what? 2. Where do we end? What's that right arrowhead called? It's called infinity. So we go 2, comma, infinity. 2 gets a bracket. Infinity gets a parenthesis. Infinity always gets parenthesis. Why? Because you can't touch infinity. Somebody tell me what infinity is. What number is infinity? So it gets a parenthesis. Write that down. I'm going to highlight that parenthesis so you'll remember. Negative and positive infinity always gets a parenthesis. Now why did I put a closed bracket on 2? It's that word. Impress your friends at the bar word. What's it called? It's got an I. Inclusive. Because it's an inclusive property. Next. I guess you can see that you need to know how to solve equations on this test. Because that's the only thing we've done just about. What should a student do? Communicate. I'm going to do another. Let's see, I got what, 9 minutes? Okay, solve. We already did this. Let's see. Solve for n, divide by p. Okay, they went ahead. Okay, yeah. Divide by p. That's going to be a over p, which they probably distributed. So I'm going to distribute. So A is equal to P plus P in R minus P, A minus P, A minus capital P is equal to P in R. We're solving for what? How do we get rid of multiplying by PR? Divide by PR. A minus P over PR, which one is that?
E.
Is it delta? Yes, Hubert. Yeah, delta Hubert. Thank you. Next. Well, that's simple. Only one that equals 100. Solve the equation. Which one? Okay, negative 7 plus 5b is negative 2b plus 1 is equal to negative 3b plus 6. Smallest bucket. So b plus 1 is equal to 6. B is equal to what? 5, so that would be A. I'm keeping up with the time for those of you going into convulsions already. I still got a few minutes. Or what time? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, only one with United States in front of it. Okay, there's a joint. We'll stop right there. And how many questions have I covered? I've covered half, but I don't know how long I've been doing it. Where's the clock at on this thing? Heck, I've only done 30 minutes. So I think I've done pretty good to do 30 minutes. And you can write that one down, and we'll cover the rest of the test Friday. Y'all get out of here and have a good day. I'm not going to take the roll. I feel like it's